Use the coupon code Magic Untapped on RogueEnergy.com and save 10% off of your order. Welcome back to Who Is here on Magic Untapped as we discover just who is Jodah Archmage Eternal. Now, when we last left him, his school had been destroyed, and he decided he would rather live in the background in a life of peace and quiet and tranquility out of the spotlight. But the funny thing is about characters with tremendous power is they have tremendous responsibility. And in Dominaria's mending, that responsibility came to call as he gets called to help the healing of a dying plane.
Who is it? Who is this?
Who is it?
Who is this?
Who is it?
Halfway through the acts that would bring upon the mending of the plane of Dominaria, Jodah has divined that one of the plane's other near-immortal mortals, and one of the driving forces behind the efforts to close the plane-threatening time rifts that have opened all over the globe, Jodah, would be traveling to the island of Urborg. Seeking to talk with her, he also travels to the Dark Continent. The two meet and, after a short conversation, Jodah agrees to accompany Jodah in her quest to put an end to the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff going on across the plane. While traveling, sparks begin to fly between the two, and the buds of romance begin to bloom. In short, it doesn't work out. The Archmage Eternal carries with him an enchanted mirror, though it's not the same reflecting mirror that he had broken over his friend Jaya's head that ignited her planeswalker spark all those years ago. Rather, it's a perfect replica of the mirror as it had originally been presented to an apprentice mage Jodah by his then master, Vaska, nearly 4 centuries prior. As the two traveled, Jodah once again joins company with Freyalise. He gives his replica mirror to the planeswalker to aid her in closing the time rift above the Skyshroud Forest, though she discards it, stating that it simply could not do the job. After the final time rift above Dominaria was sealed and the plane's mending had begun, Jodah sought Jodah out. She tells the Archmage that he seems much different than the Jodah of legend whom she had read about. He informs her that he is, indeed, not the same Jodah. Though if this Jodah was from an alternate timeline, or simply a different person, so to speak, due to being nearly 4,000 years old, is up for debate. Most people tend to go with the latter, especially when you consider that 60 years after the mending, he is found taking residence in Talaria West, and is ever so briefly reunited with a slow-aging Jodah, who is seeking information from an agent of the Cabal who may have been hiding out at the Academy there. He assists the new crew of the reconstructed skyship Weatherlight to discover who is behind a recent attack and theft from inside of the Academy that killed 9 students. As it turns out, it was orchestrated by an undercover Cabal agent. Jodah was able to render the Cabalist harmless, but walked out of the scene rather coldly after some drama unfolds during the interrogation. And that's the last we will see of Jodah Archmage Eternal. Well, for now anyway. Despite all of his power, he is tied to the plane of Dominaria. Perhaps when the game returns to its original and most iconic setting is when we're going to see and interact with Jodah once more. After all, he is one of the game's oldest surviving characters. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this season, inaugural season of Who Is on Magic Untapped. If you did, please subscribe to us here on YouTube and throw a buck or so in our tip jar on Patreon. Thank you for watching.